The Fox 61 News at 6 starts now.
Yeah, breaking news in Seymour tonight. A deadly crash has shut down a part of Route 34. Police say the road will be closed for an extended period of time, and you should avoid the area. Officials say 2 cars crashed near Maiden Lane around 4 this afternoon. 1 person died, and the other driver was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. We will update you on the investigation as it develops and we get more information.
Yeah, also breaking news right now in New Haven. Fire crews are investigating 2 separate fires that broke out just minutes apart. The first, just after 4 this afternoon, was on Henry Street, involving heavy fire on the first floor, we're told, of a large 10-unit building. It was brought under control within about an hour, but a second fire 10 minutes later was near the intersection of Wolcott and James. That involved a fully engulfed vehicle and a fence. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. We have crews on the way now, and we'll bring you those updates.
And now to our top story. We're learning disturbing new details in the death of 11-year-old Mimi Torres Garcia. Fox 61 has obtained the girl's autopsy through probate court filing. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Her body was found in a 40-gallon bin behind an abandoned house in New Britain in October. The chief medical examiner determined her cause of death was child abuse with starvation.
Now, Fox 61's Alicia Hercules is in Farmington breaking down the autopsy findings that paint a troubling picture of severe neglect and abuse.
According to this autopsy report, Mimi had a single blueberry in her stomach, and her remains weighed just 27 pounds at the time of their discovery. In the autopsy report obtained through a probate case in Farmington, the chief medical examiner notes 11-year-old Jacqueline Mimi Torres Garcia had an amphetamine in her system that was not prescribed to her. The report notes there was an antihistamine in her system as well. The chief medical examiner says she was emaciated. The report notes the 11-year-old had nearly no subcutaneous fat. That's the soft layer of fat just beneath the skin, leaving her bones visible under the skin's surface. Mimi's cause of death was determined to be child abuse with starvation. The manner of death was homicide by maltreatment and neglect. Her body was found wrapped in several layers of cloth and plastic inside a 40-gallon plastic container. She was folded into the fetal position inside a garbage bag, according to the report. The report also notes the smell of ammonia from the contents of the bin. Police believe she died in September of 2024, more than a year before her body was eventually found. Carla Garcia, Mimi's mother, along with Jonathan Nanita, Garcia's then boyfriend, and Jacqueline Garcia, Mimi's aunt, have all been charged in connection with Mimi's death. The medical examiner didn't find any external injuries on her body. Full body x-rays didn't show any recent or healing fractures. In Farmington, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
Thank you, Alicia. And we've been following Mimi's case since it broke in October. To learn more, you can stream now on Fox 61 Plus anytime, all for free.
More than 5 months after Plainville firefighter Ray Moreau died in the line of duty, a state report has determined there were no safety standard violations when it happened. On July 27th of last year, the Plainville Volunteer Fire Company was called to a house fire early in the morning. OSHA says Moreau was at a fire truck to grab his gear, and while he was there, another truck rolled over a hose which got tangled in the wheels. The hose stretched and pinned Moreau against his truck and then broke, sending a 35-pound valve flying into Moreau. The report says he was thrown 6 to 8 feet into the air and then landed on the sidewalk. Moreau was rushed to the hospital where he later died during surgery. He was 60 years old. Now, law requires fire departments to evaluate fire truck drivers once a year. OSHA says the Plainville Fire Department should implement situational awareness training. Moreau's case was officially closed last Monday, the 5th.
Developing here at 6:04, 13 people were hospitalized after a school bus crash in Bridgeport this morning. Officials say 10 children and 3 adults were involved in the crash. We're still working to learn the extent of their injuries, but police say a bus and car crashed on East Main Street and Arctic Street at 9 this morning. The crash, though, is still under investigation.
Webster Hill Elementary School students in West Hartford won't go to school tomorrow. Officials say many of its students have norovirus and they want to limit the spread. School leaders made the decision after they met with the West Hartford Bloomfield Health District. Cleaning crews will sanitize the school while students are out of class. No other West Hartford schools will be closed tomorrow.
All right, winter is returning after a 2-week hiatus with temperatures in the 40s. The winds are picking up and the temperatures are easing back. We do have the chance for snow this weekend, definitely on Saturday, maybe on Sunday. We're still trying to figure that out. Here's a look at the radar, and you'll see the chance for some flurries later tonight as some of that colder air punches in, but no impact from that. Here's a look at those winds, gusting as high as about 25 miles per hour. Those are the winds of change, so to speak, dropping those numbers. Right now, it's 33 degrees in Hartford and 29 in Waterbury. Overnight lows will be close to average for this time of year. It's just the fact that it's colder than it has been, with teens to around 20 as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. But keep in mind, it'll really feel like the single digits to right around 10 at the bus stop early tomorrow morning. So a cold start to the day for sure. It feels like the 20s as we head through the afternoon. Actual high temperatures will climb into the low 30s as we head through Friday afternoon. After that, we're watching some snow developing as we head towards daybreak Saturday morning. We could see periods of snow Saturday with a coating to an inch or two possible, some mixing at the shoreline in southeastern Connecticut. And we do have the chance for some snow on Sunday, depending on where an offshore coastal storm tracks. We'll be keeping you posted on that as we get closer coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. And this reminder, the state's cold weather protocol is in effect right now, and it will last until noon tomorrow. If you need a shelter or a warming center, call 211 or visit 211ct.org. Transportation can be provided as well.
3 people have been arrested. Police say they submitted fake Medicaid claims. Venice Garner Moore, Vernon Moore, and Tanya Jackson were arrested last week. They were all a part of a business called Embrace Your Difference, which provides counseling, life coaching, and workshops. But according to the chief state's attorney, they submitted claims of Medicaid recipients without consent and claims that contained false information. The attorney said their fraudulent claims added up to more than $57,000. All have been charged with larceny.
A Groton man was arraigned today after police say he was involved in a road rage incident last month in Ledyard. Officials say Eric White followed a woman closely, honking his horn, and attempted to pass her in a no-passing zone. Investigators say he followed her into a parking lot, pointed a gun at another person, and then sped off. Groton officers arrested him yesterday and found a loaded firearm in his car. White faces multiple charges, including carrying a pistol without a permit and driving a car under suspension.
People that are incarcerated should have to deal with their consequences faster than waiting years. It's drawn out. There's no need for it. It's very emotionally draining for families.
Today, lawyers met to move Louis LeBoy's case along in court, possibly towards a trial. LeBoy is accused of killing 18-year-old Julius Rivera in January of 2023. Fox 61's Solinera caught up with Rivera's family.
Louis LeBoy was not in the courtroom, but Rivera's family was, and they say they'll continue showing up until this case is closed.
It's frustrating. I feel like I relive this every time I come to court. I feel like the system fails us, honestly. It's very hard. I just want justice for my son.
That's Julius Rivera's mother, Lindsay Modine. She says she showed up to this courthouse again and again, waiting for the day her family will get a conviction for her son's homicide. Julius Rivera was shot and killed here on Broad Street back in January 2023. It took more than a year, but police arrested and charged Louis LeBoy with murder. Rivera's mom says this was no manslaughter or a mistake. Her son was shot multiple times. Police also made another arrest in the case. This is video from January 2024 of Sahira DeLuca, who was charged with hindering prosecution in the shooting. Not long after, the car was found abandoned on a highway. According to an affidavit, DeLuca told detectives she was out of town at the time. That's when police used cell phone records they claim put her at the scene the night Rivera was killed. Her lawyer said prosecutors made her an offer. But it's still unclear if this case will go to trial. That's because Modine says LeBoy was offered a plea deal, but he rejected it. Now she says it's a painful waiting game while her family keeps coming to court, waiting to see how this case will finally be resolved.
It's the worst experience ever. It's drawn out, it's horrible. My anxiety's through the roof. I throw up for days before, can't sleep. It's hurtful, especially when it's just continued over and over. I guess criminals can make their own decision and not come to court, but yet I have to be here for justice. It's just unfair. It's not right.
The next day this case goes before a judge is February 26th. In Hartford, Solene Air, Fox 61.
All right, Solene, thank you. If you're a Verizon customer and you were impacted by yesterday's outage, the carrier wants to give you a $20 account credit. They say if you log into the My Verizon app, you will receive a text when the credit is available. Verizon says the credit, on average, will cover multiple days of service. If you own a business, they say you'll be contacted directly about your credits. It really shut a lot of people down. You don't realize how dependent you are on it until you can't send a text.
I didn't know because I don't have Verizon,
Right.
But then yesterday I was getting all these text messages from people responding kind of once they got it back, and they were like, sorry, I didn't have service. I'm like, well, it's kind of nice, kind of quiet out there. Yeah, but giving $20 back is, I've never heard of that. Like, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah,
Like, you should be compensated for losing out.
Agreed.
Yeah.